I have to say. Mana usually tends to be very aggressive, while for TeaJa, he can pull off anything. I think we saw STV pull 2 days ago or so.
Yeah.
So I think very aggressive games, most likely.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and introduce these players in the bottom right of Triton. It is our Polish Protoss player. Make some noise for Mana.
And his opponent up here in the top left-hand side, in the red, representing Team Liquid as well. It is TaKeTV.
All right. So what are your guys' impressions of TVP on the new patch so far?
It feels almost the same, I would say.
Yeah?
Sometimes you notice the Zealots being a bit weaker when you're chasing. Like, just nothing dies really, and you're like, lose all your Zealots, and you're like, kind of sad. But other than that, I haven't noticed too much of a difference. I guess the Liberator as well, it's a bit easier to go into Liberator in late game.
You said when you're chasing, like, I heard some people say, like, when you're chasing an army down, it's actually better. Like the Zealots, but it's worse in just the initial engagement.
Yeah, but the Zealots usually charge so far ahead now, so they're kind of on their own and just all die.
Ah, right.
So of course, if you have like a overwhelming army, you can just chase them down really nicely, yeah.
Well, they actually like charge quicker than before as well, right? Because it's like a multiplier of their normal movement speed, I think. So I believe they actually charge even faster than they did before as well.
Okay.
Unless Twitter lied to me.
Which is totally reasonable to assume. Yeah, I definitely have seen a lot of people warping in Zealots into these situations, especially like defensively at third bases, and then they charge in and die, and I'm like, oh wait, isn't that supposed to kill the Terran army and you're supposed to be fine? But hasn't been the case so far.
Yeah, Triton's a very big map, of course. I feel like this map definitely, we've seen quite a few Terran players complaining about it and struggling a lot with kind of backstabs when they get up to 3 and 4 bases, right? With just the amount of area you've got to cover. Do you feel like it's a bit more of a Protoss map, or?
I think it's one of the more even maps. I think it depends on who you ask. I know Special told me it's a Protoss map. He probably feels about every map this way. For me personally, I don't like the map too much.
What's your favorite in the current pool? It's like
Acropolis for sure.
Acrop, yeah.
Really? Okay.
It's a free win, I think.
Like specifically for this matchup, you mean?
Yeah.
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 All right, so just a blink opener coming up here for Mana.
TaKeTV opened without a Reaper, so he's going to do the TY Marine Hellion move out.
Spotted really early, though.
Yeah.
I mean, those 4 Marines is a huge tell, so should just probably put down his shield battery at the natural, I imagine. He doesn't have a wall off at all.
And you also put the second part in the main base, so you can't make a shield battery right now.
Oh, no. Wow. Okay, so he's kind of, he's got to kind of intercept it and wear it down, but that's dangerous if the Hellions run past.
Well, maybe he's got to pull his probes back here. We'll see in a second. Banshee and Cloak.
Oh, I like that probe. Good probe. Do you think, I mean, I'm pretty sure that was to spot that, right? Or do you think that was actually to proxy something?
Probably to spot, I would say. I don't see what you would proxy in this situation. Maybe a pylon, but
yeah.
Maybe looking for a proxy starport as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Hellion drop's pretty popular on this map. Followed up with the Liberator or Banshee.
Yeah, the defensive bunker there at home. There's the Robo on the way.
I think it was a good call to go back with the Marines. Since he was spotted so early, Stalker's just going to kite them. So definitely a good move to just pull back.
And opening up with this Cloaked Banshee, I mean, can't tell exactly what this build is going to turn into yet. Did you happen to see the mech build last night?
Especially against me?
Yeah. Oh, wait, God, that was against you. I'm so sorry. Like, did you see that game? It was really great. The Protoss got wrecked.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I've got pie on my face. What did you think about that, though? This actually makes my question even better. What did you think about that mech play?
I knew he was going to go play mech, but I thought I might be able to break him at some point. But it never felt like I could take a fight. And then the BCs, for some reason I didn't expect him, even though it was obvious he's going to be BCs.
Yeah.
So I started making carriers first, and it's just terrible to make carriers.
I'm trying to remember, was that the game where you took a lot of damage to Banshees, or was that the previous game in that series?
The second game I lost to Banshees, basically.
Yeah. That one was pretty sudden, right? It was just Banshees hit 3 mineral lines at once. Was that this map?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, 4 probe kills already.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. No third base down
So
for
bad.
Mana yet, so yeah, he's equal in economy. Well, not even equal, behind a little bit. Third CC's already almost finished for TaKeTV. I mean, I feel like if you're in this situation, two-base Colossus timing becomes one of the best things to do as the Protoss player, right? You're just a bit too far behind in economy.
Yeah, it's rough because he didn't open with a sentry, and the observer's also so slow now to get across the map. And I think he has no idea right now what's going on because he probably kept the observer at home, right? So
Yeah.
it's a bit of a rough spot now.
You were saying, Pig, Colossus timing?
Yeah, I feel like you've got to equalize the economy here, right? One of the big problems is that third CC's up. Obviously, Stim Shields is massively delayed with TaKeTV's build order, but with a third CC up, double upgrades, he's leading in the work account by 4.
Yeah.
I mean, this is an awesome economic situation as the Terran. And normally this is the point where you go, if I just survive the next couple minutes without kind of Blink Stalkers picking off some add-ons and ruining me, anything like that, DTs or Zealots getting in the mineral lines. And this is really the first time Mana's moved out on the map, right? These Stalkers, they don't even have an observer with them. The Banshees have been the ones pressuring all game long. That's a nice pick-off, but definitely wants a little bit more than that. TaKeTV is still working with very few units. Ooh, good pullback on the observer.
You can tell Mana is really scared. Like he's putting up 5 gates. He stopped probe count. So I think as soon as he realizes it's a quick 3CC, he's gonna go for attack because, as we said, he's really far behind now. 8 workers plus the mules. It's a pretty bad spot to be in.
Yeah, I feel like this is one of the classic styles that's good against Blink with no sentry, right? This is why I love the sentry Blink opening with that fast hallucinate. It's just you've got great defense, good counter pressure, but you're so blind if you go for a Blink opening, and especially if Banshees pin your observers at home, you end up in the dark. So Mana's been playing this game with very little information. He's going to move out now, but yeah, he's got to do a lot of damage here. I feel like he's got to commit to everything. Does he have a Templar Archives up?
No, I don't think so.
A few Archons would be amazing. He's got
it's
so much
900
gas.
Yeah.
I feel like if TaKeTV actually spots this and turns around right now.
Ooh. Uh-oh.
Nice blink forward.
Oh.
It gets the Raven. That's a huge pickoff. And look at this body block and a bunch of those units. Really nice move from Mana there.
Yeah, TaKeTV's got to pull SCVs right now. He needs to actually make sure those tanks don't go down. I wouldn't mind him even just unsieging and moving further back. That's a lot of Zealots. They're going to jump on top of him. The Marauders run onto the Colossus. There is still one tank way in the back. The SCV's being pulled just a little bit late by TaKeTV. I think the Colossus is just a bit too strong. There's no tanks left over. And with one more Zealot warp in, there's no way TaKeTV can hang on against that.
Yeah, losing the Raven is so big in this case. Like, imagine just 2 interference mages on the Colossus.
That's funny, because if TaKeTV sat at home, I feel like that just absolutely will not end up working. But it felt like both players were kind of clueless as to what the other player was doing for most of that game.
I think so too, yeah. I guess the Banshee spotted the probe con at the third base maybe, so maybe TeaJa knew, which makes it even weirder that he moved out.
Yeah. I mean, especially having the Raven as well. It was one of those greedy things. You're like, I'm going to push back the Observer. It'll be fine. And you know there's Blink, right? This is not like one of those weird Colossus charge lot builds with no Phoenix, no Blink Stalks. Against that, you can do whatever you want on the map. Right? You can just run around with your bio. You see their army. You run away. They can't catch it. But the Blink Stalkers as well. A lot of the Marine Marauder tried to load up. And like you said, they got body blocked by 2 of the Stalkers. And they kind of bugged out a little bit.
It was bad enough to lose the Raven. Then you lose half of your bio force as well. It's just you are not getting out of that one.
I'm going to have nightmares about this tonight.
Well, Mana with that very strong first victory. It's kind of nice to see him on stage. He's one of those players that actually snuck through into this round where we didn't see any of his games on the mainstream.
He had a lot of good results as well. He took a map of innovation. Yeah, he was beating a lot of good players.
9-5. He just kind of railed through his games and got through, and it's like, oh, God. Mana doing really well in this tournament so far.
Yeah, I'd asked him about those games, and he was like, oh, yeah, people have been congratulating me, but because it wasn't on the mainstream, he's like, the games were, a lot of them were kind of weird, crazy, silly games. He was, very realistic about them. Just, he's like, oh, he's like, I actually don't think I played that well. I think I got lucky. And I was like, oh, okay. This is odd, because, the results look awesome for him, so.
Yeah, he told me he felt like he played, his level, but the other guys played really bad. That's why that's what he told me.
Well, that's one way to win. We'll be getting a game number 2 pretty quickly here. And
so the winner of this match, by the way, is going to be going up against
loser of Innovation Special.
Ooh. All right. I think Special's our next match on the mainstream as well.
That's right.
So that's going to be a good TVT coming up. super excited for Cure Raynor later today as well, actually.
That's a great match.
Yeah.
That is a great one. Very excited to see what Cure is going to pull out against Raynor.
Yeah, Cure is... I think he's super underrated. He's one of the best Terrans.
Yeah.
For a long time even, but he doesn't perform in tournaments, sadly.
Yeah,
But I think he's super good.
The series against Trap at it was like the very first stage, main stage tournament game, I think. And that was like, he just crushed him.
Wow.
It was pretty
Was it
awesome.
0?
Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure it was. I felt like it was close at some points, but Cure just looked really, really powerful in those games. So, all right, trying to figure out how that scoreboard's going to look. Here we go. Oh, up here in the top left, in the blue, representing Team Liquid, he is Mana.
And his opponent, a 3-time Homestory Cup champion, it's Liquid TeaJa.
So we've seen a lot of Thunderbird this tournament.
Yeah, that's an understatement. I cannot wait for the new ladder maps to come out and never see this map again.
I was really happy to see Solar try to mine down the minerals on this map. I was like, yes, something new on Thunderbird. You know, it's not just going to be straight to 4 base. And I was like, oh, it just didn't work at all. Like, all right.
By new, you mean the build people were trying the first week Thunderbird was out.
yeah, it's like new old build, right? Yeah. I really wanted that to work. I want more people to cheese this map, and it's like it's
it almost
not happening.
never works. Even if you wall the front, you know, like most people wall like the right before the in front of the natural to make it safe. But I think walling the big ramp is completely fine as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's a few Protoss to do that. You did that most games. Like, I know Neeb does it every game. Yeah.
Stats did it. The Zerglings came in and he just re-walled. It's
Yeah.
just like, oh, there you go.
Oh, there's a gateway that's exposed. Yeah. Yeah.
Lose a couple buildings. Okay. Well, you made 40 lings. What do you want?
On this map, you can't block the jump up point at the 3rd with a single pylon, can you? You need like
you can. It's a bit of a buggy spot, you know.
Oh,
But,
okay.
You can jump up if you click at the exact right position, but you need to know.
okay. Cool.
Like with the core, for example, I'm pretty sure if you click to the right of it, the
Like
Reaper
here?
can jump up, but it's a bit gimmicky, you know.
Oh.
You can definitely jump from the top down.
So if I ever see like a Reaper there and it's like kind of spazzing
Yeah.
out a little bit on the low ground, I'm like, okay, I know what's happening. Someone's trying to click right on the right point.
He wants to scout me so bad. Oh, quick top. Twilight coming down. Okay. You think it's just going to be the blank again here?
Might be. I think on this map also DT can be quite good. It's a bit harder to get into the main base with Scout.
By the way, have you played, I mean, I know I saw that you went for the new glaives against Cyril one of the games, but have you tried it at all against Terran?
No, I feel like overall it was a nerf to Adepts, and it was already kind of bad before, so I'm like, okay, why would I make it, right?
I think there was like a mathematical problem that went on with that, where, you know, it's like if you look at it and you assume they've always shading as quickly as they can, it's like a very minor statistical reduction on paper, but that's not how it plays out, because like you don't want to be shading in the middle of a fight. What are you going to be doing? Like shading when you've already got the ideal position in a fight and you're trying to position the shades on top of where the adepts are. You interrupt them mid-attack. You lose DPS each time you do that. So it ends up being a pretty big damage reduction overall.
And it certainly makes it so adepts are not supposed to be part of any sort of main army. Not as if that was a big part of them before, but yeah, it's kind of a funny thing.
Well, we used to like them with disruptors. Then we realized you can actually just micro zealots away from the disruptor shots. And we're like, oh no, players are good enough to do that now. Like, there's no reason to go adepts over zealots usually.
Yeah.
It looks like he's gonna go for some gateway pressure.
Oh, that's
another
okay.
pylon.
Gotta get that out. I think that's a pretty good trade there from Mana to start. Just kind of weakens the units. So you think just like go with the first round of Stalkers?
3 gates right now on the way.
Ooh. That's bad.
Yeah, that's really bad.
Yeah, and he lost the full health one.
Yeah. 3 more gates on the way, so that's
Bunker's
really
going down.
Stalk all in.
Yeah, I think TaKeTV's reading this.
Wait, did he make a sentry or something so he can spot?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
So this is just going to be a frontal 4-gate Blink Stalker attack?
Yeah.
On Thunderbird?
Okay. Well, it'll be surprising for TaKeTV.
Well, he sees the Widowmine drop, so he commits for 1 Stalker at home.
It's getting a bunker, getting tanks, so it's looking pretty good for him.
Did the medevac see the gateway?
Third Nexus.
I think it did, right? Yeah, it did.
Hmm.
Yeah. So he's like, okay, you've seen this gateway. I'm just not going to use it now. I think that's the right call. I mean, you know there's so much time for a bunker to get up. There's going to be a siege tank behind it. TaKeTV's going to respect it. He's going to go for the counter Widowmine drop. And really good defense here.
Yeah, not too many kills, just a couple going down. I like that Mana's really willing to go ahead and transition out of this immediately.
Yeah.
And of course, TaKeTV has to make the bunkers, so.
Yeah, it would have never worked. Good call.
So it looks more like a more standard style for TaKeTV this game, right? The Raven's coming up. Stim's on the way. Did go for the bunkers, which slowed it down a little bit, but it looks like the big kind of standard bio Raven push with the third base going down behind that. And third base does go down a little bit earlier than expected. I think this is 2 barracks into third CC.
I think TaKeTV's read the situation correctly, right? He sees the robo building now. He realizes, oh, the attack's not coming. There's no reason to delay that command center any further.
Yeah.
I feel like Mana's third gas is really late. Usually you're supposed to get it before taking the third base even. I'm not sure how it's going to work out.
Guess it means it's a little bit harder to afford Immortals, right? And Sentry is going to be a little bit more pure Zealot focused, I guess, but does time out a little bit strange. Those Stalkers looking to intercept that medevac on the way back.
Lots of gates being popped out right now. Oh, nice placement.
Lots of gateways going down for Mana. 6 more gateways finishing up here. Immortal production starting up as well. Still only leading by a handful of probes, but with a much quicker third base, Mana's income can pick up in a big way. Right now he pauses on the probes. I'm curious to see, Mana, does he know what he's up against? Did he spot the third command center? He's getting scanned, sees the double forge, see the gateway finishing.
It feels a bit similar to last game in the sense that he has no clue what he's going up against, but he's playing like overly safe against a 3CC build.
Yeah. I mean,
at least he has the double forge going, right?
Yeah.
That last game, he did not even have the forge going, so the attack was kind of lucky at the end.
Templar Archives and Prism on the way as well. Just 4 Stalkers, not really a threat. Just going to bait out Stim.
He has just 1 Immortal right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Only 1 Sentry as well, so very few, like no real force fields to speak of. It's going to be just Guardian Shield.
No pylon nearby. Can't really go for a battery or anything. This could be a little bit dangerous.
Yeah, usually on Thunderbird you have like 3 sentries, you can delay any push for like good 30 seconds or so, but in this case...
Well, I don't know if TaKeTV's going to commit though. Like that's the thing. I feel like TaKeTV...
I think he'll poke at least, right?
I think he'll poke, but I really think he might just turn around because... his Widowmine
5 mines.
Yeah.
No,
the mine count suddenly, it's like Zealots aren't as scary when you hit 6 mines, right? Like 5, 6 mines. It's like, okay.
Got to get this Raven coming up?
Which can try to feedback the Raven.
Oh, he lands it. Does lose the Prism though. And the High Templar. Oh, Widow Mines. Okay, not really. There we go. Some big hits landing down on the Zealots.
Yeah.
The Zealots are getting cleaned up here. The Guardian Shield not really taking part in that fight at all. More Zealots coming in. Emergency force fields having to zone him out. And Mana way down on the unit count here.
Yeah, TaKeTV really smashing through that, even though he did get that feedback off.
Yeah,
well,
that
this
Bioforce. Oh man, the Robo goes down as well.
A lot of these fights are funny watching the new Zealot run into the bio.
Yeah.
It's like
doing nothing.
I have to like recalibrate my brain as to what these battles are going to look like because the Zealots are just not dealing the damage they used to.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of people, it's interesting with saying, yeah, like when you're chasing them down, definitely they're good, but it needs to already be a route, right? You need to already have the Terran kind of red hit point bio literally just running, not shooting at all, and then it's maybe going to be more useful, but in any sort of, stutter stepping situation, it seems like they do get very separated from those Immortals and those Sentries. And, I mean, we used to see a little bit more of Guardian Shield coming into the fight. That fight, I don't think we saw Guardian Shield on them at all, though the Zealots did take some pretty harsh Widow Mine shots, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. His sentries were pretty darn late that game, too. Or this game. Well, looking good for TaKeTV. Building that 4th CC on location. I like that Mana is going ahead and getting into some more Robotech, double Robos coming down, as well as the support bay.
Yeah, because TaKeTV saw the High Templar and the Prism, so he's probably going to assume it's Storm, but he's not getting Storm at all.
Yeah, I like plays like that quite a bit. Obviously the new EMP is still going to do fantastically against him, but at least you'll have some splash damage that he can't stop. Oh, man. It keeps going worse for Mana here.
TaKeTV's looking really tight. Really tight. He reacted very safe in the early game, was very flexible, still got this nice push going. he actually had a pretty quick third CC as well, remember. This was never like a big 2-base all-in or anything. Like, you know, the initial push was like a real, let's test the waters and get some trading going, and it just pushed through and did huge damage. Does lose the 4th command center to that Zealot backstab, but there's just no damage output here for Mana.
No.
And Archon, that's not enough splash damage.
You know, he was trying his best there to pull something out. The Prism saw him flying that. We're just right-clicking over the army, hoping to pull all the mine hits into it, but not quite enough. TaKeTV takes game number 2, ties it up.
Yeah, it was a rough spot after he wanted to commit to the blink all-in or the blink pressure, and then he got scouted. Because unlike what Terran like to believe or make you believe, blink builds are very tight. If you get like a bit behind or you take a bad Widow Mine to the probes, because you need to rely on overwhelming the opponent with zealots, and in this case, we're just too far behind.
Yeah. Seems like that. Do you think that build might rotate out a little bit because of the zealots being weakened? 'Cause if it was already tight when they had that extra charge damage, it feels like it just loses a lot.
It might. From my experience playing the patch, like I didn't practice too much, but like 20, 30 games or so, it's still pretty good. I didn't feel like I cannot make it work anymore. So
Okay.
It's still good, I think.
Maybe just the sentry builds being more important, right? Especially on these big maps. Hard to get Reapers in and that sort of stuff. Hard to scout for the Protoss, though, as well on the other side. So, yeah, 2 games where you are seeing TaKeTV either overtake or up like down just 2 or 3 workers, and then the third would get up and Mana would not really have the info to probe it, right? You want to be going gases on your third. You want to be like going up to 65, 70 probes in these games, right?
Yep.
So if you're probing while that attack's hitting you, it's like it's not really what you want to be investing in right at that moment. So information's everything, hey? StarCraft at its heart, as per usual.
6 gases right away. 4th base quick as well.
Yep.
But Mana was like on 3 gases, also like a really late third gas, and was just stopping at like 55 probes against a 3CC build. So it's gonna be a tough spot from there.
All right. Going into game number 3 now. On Disco Bloodbath, down in the bottom right, our Protoss player from Poland. It's Liquid Mana. And in the top left, from Korea, Liquid TeaJa.
You guys heard anything about TeaJa? You know, obviously back in the day he had wrist issues and stuff. You guys heard anything? Like, I'm sure it's, you know, feeling a lot better after a few years off and stuff, but...
Apparently he still has issues.
Yeah?
Like he came back last year or so, I don't know exactly, and then he disappeared for a while again because of, apparently he has still wrist issues, but I'm not exactly sure. I think TLO or someone told me.
Damn.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I think once you get wrist issues, they're kind of at least in the background for the rest of your career, probably.
Well, there are ways, right? But you've got to do something drastic if it's a big issue, right? Dario TLO had big issues as well, and you guys have seen him use his mouse and keyboard now, right? Like, he's got his full forearms on the tables, he's got his gigantic mouse pad, he like completely relearned his posture and everything. So it's a big thing. It's hard to relearn when you've played a game your whole life, you know, a certain way. You want to just start kicking the ball or, you know, picking up the racket and hitting it the way you're used to. Same thing. You want to use the mouse the way you used it as a kid when you were, you know, winning every single StarCraft 2 tournament for the summer of 2013-14, right? You know, TaKeTV, you know, he's got such a history in it. So I wonder if he has kind of changed up his techniques or he's just doing some stretching and that sort of stuff.
I think it's especially hard, too, when you look at the style of a player like TaKeTV, where he's, like, kind of his strengths are things like being fast and multitasking well. So you kind of, you know, you're always pushing yourself to that limit there.
Yeah, the Terrans tend to have wrist issues the most.
Yeah, same in Brood War. It's almost all Terrans and like a couple good Zergs, and that's it. No offense.
I mean,
my Protoss is over here.
I agree. Like Protoss, you don't need to be that as fast. So
yeah, it's the thinking man's race.
Yeah.
So we have a Stargate this time. Mana should be able to figure out what TeaJa is up to at minimum with this.
Phoenix openings popular at the moment?
Yeah, especially on this map. Defend drops, because there's so much airspace on this map. Or like so much space to drop.
Can you think of any situation where Flux Veins could be used in this matchup?
I remember when we had the balance discussion in, I was in one trial or so. I think Drogo was like maybe, you know, Colossus Void Ray. But
I feel like Vikings would be good
you know?
against that, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really see it.
Yeah.
Void Ray harassment, man. Yeah, that's the... Just 6 Voids just come in from the edge of the map, snipe down a command center.
Well,
Guaranteed to
if they
tilt
don't
your
see it
opponent.
coming, I guess it could.
Yeah, man. You just get one Flux Vein Void Ray just to annoy your opponent. It's just to, like, you just keep showing it. You pick up an SCV, fly away. Yeah, like...
Force them into a bunch of Vikings, but actually you're only making a Mortal Zealot at home.
It's like when you're in your flow state, right? As a StarCraft player, you're just playing, you're executing your strategies. There's a little bit of thinking, but it's usually like on like a lower wavelength, right? And there's that moment when your opponent does something which makes no sense, and you're like,
snaps you out of it.
yeah, and you're like, what could it be? Like, there's got
Yeah.
to be something that I'm not taking into account. Your mind's racing. You're trying to think about it. You're like, is it this? Is it that? That's the one Void Ray strat. That's like you're just trying to get your opponent to overthink the situation a little bit, and then you can go back to doing normal stuff and hopefully win.
It looks like mine's gonna go Phoenix Colossus, which is also very popular on this map. Personally, I prefer like the Phoenix into Charge Slot and Forge, but I've seen Classic play it, and I think at BlizzCon against Big Ape, so definitely a good build.
Now, I hate to just keep bringing up this very similar question, but with the charge damage gone, I mean, I already felt like Phoenix Charge was like, it wasn't super popular, at least in Korea. So, well, hold on, we do have a little drop coming down, but it's going to get wrecked.
Oh, oof.
No problem.
Thought he left that last Widow Mine for just a bit too long, but no, Mana knows what he's doing. And that's always the ideal. If you go Phoenix, your opponent goes for a Widow Mine drop into the base where your Phoenix is sitting. Oh, feels good, though, as a Protoss player, man.
But yeah, the Charge Phoenix, do you think that there's still a way to go for that without the charge damage? Sorry to keep asking this question, but it's like actually a very...
Yeah, I'm not sure, but
I think if you flank, maybe, right?
Yeah, I feel like it's similar to a Blink build, but even tighter, you know? I don't know. It's a very rare build these days. I feel like Trap played it against Maru in the GSL run or whatever. Then I copied it, but it's very easy to just lose to like a big Widow Mine hit or something.
Yeah.
So it might like just go away.
Yeah, I kind of...
It's like crazy power spikes, right? Like when you're relying on that composition where it's like, oh, the difference between 6 mines and 10 mines can change the game like in an insane way where your army becomes so much less valuable.
Because you need to match the mine count with your Phoenix count, but you don't really want to do it like 1-to-1 because mines are so much cheaper, so it's a bit tricky,
Yeah. Well, the third base coming up, Colossus being produced. A little bit Marauder heavy right now. It's kind of gained some popularity lately in Korea.
Yeah, well-timed Forge. I don't like it if the Forge gets left much later than this. You do end up steadily just kind of falling behind. I mean, as the Terran player against this style, do you think... I mean, we sometimes see it go down to just multi-prong drops, right? Big Doom drops hitting and just like run-bys and stuff. Do you think it's just as valid for the Terran to just kind of sit back and play very ultra-defensive against this and really push it to late game?
I think you can. I almost feel like attacking against this style is almost always a mistake, especially early on. I think you want to wait for like a bigger ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you definitely need critical mass against Phoenixes. Like, when you get enough that the Phoenixes look at it and say, oh, I can't do anything, that's when I feel like you should be attacking here. I'm actually a little bit surprised he's diving in now with the Raven. That doesn't feel like an optimal play.
It's very common in Korea to use the Raven as a harassment, but against Phoenix it seems a bit odd.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially since he's going Colossus, like, well, if you could bring it over and get that interference matrix, imagine that army without that Colossus right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's better than killing the few probes he got, but okay.
Yeah, I guess if the Raven isn't running by, it is hard to get the Raven in, for the interference matrix. Obviously, it does die very quickly to the Phoenix, so I think that's just TaKeTV saying, yeah, I mean, I've imagined getting the interference matrix down, but I only land it 1 in 4 games or something, or I only get one interference matrix and lose the Raven. So he's probably just said, look, let's just, try to distract, allow my bio to get across the map. But this is now getting very dicey. 3 medevacs, very low.
Whoa!
Oh, whoa! No.
I'm a little bit surprised he lifted up there, but maybe he felt like his Marines were already too low of health and he had to get out with what he could.
Mana's just going to commit to the push, yeah. Smells blood, man.
Well, there can't be many units at home, right?
Oh! Nah, the Stalkers.
God, still not going well for TaKeTV here. Does get to save those 2 medevacs once again.
Oh, he's actually lucky
Oh.
that Mana's going for the third. I mean, this either one's good for Mana, but Mana, I'm pretty sure, could just kill him. There's like 2 Widow Mines and a few Marauders and Marines in the natural right now. Without a Warp Prism, very frightening, of course, to go and do a push like this as a Protoss player. It's not something that Mana was necessarily planning to do, I don't think, but he's just going to take advantage of the opportunity as it presents itself.
The Marines walking home right now. Oops. Wrong way there. Some bad paddling by TaKeTV. Oh, look at this. He's actually going to go ahead and flank it.
Yeah, no, War Prism does weaken the situation, but Guardian Shield was good. The Sentry does fall there. More Stalkers walking up, and, I mean, great positioning for TaKeTV, but just the wrong fight.
Yeah, I think he was just so far behind from the start even, and then he kept making mines against a Colossus player, which is not what you want at all. Losing all the medevacs, the bio in it. Just so far behind.
Yeah, this looks like it's going to be almost game-ending at this point. Walking up here, there's no way he's going to end up saving this location.
Oh, man.
So much damage.
The Vikings get focused down. The Colossus survives on red hit points. Very nice game.
Oh. That is an intense pro gamer right there. Are you still in the lead in that sliding competition, by the way?
No, I think Drogo is. I lost
That's what
in
he
the
was
first already.
saying, but I saw your name at number 1.
Ah, yeah?
I did see it. I don't know.
No,
maybe I missed
Drogo
it.
told me this morning that he was annoyed because they got the order wrong on the graphic.
Oh,
he was
did
like, dude, I have a better time. Why are they still showing Showtime as number 1? Yeah.
I was very confident in it, you know. Been going to water parks all my life,
Oh,
practicing for the water sliding competition.
My man. Slip 20 to the guy who's organizing the
But I made a mistake. I told everyone about the right technique, you know.
Yeah, everyone's been telling me. I was like,
Oh, is it the shoulder blade thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, even I heard about this, and I'm not doing the race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought I'd do pretty good at this, you know? Like, I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, no. Like, I watched a YouTube video of the World Championships before I did the water sliding race. I was like, no, Dario.
It's preparation right there for you.
I was like, okay, yeah, like, I don't feel so bad about being second last now.
All right. So we have Mana leading 2-1. I liked his play more of that game than in the others. TaKeTV definitely having a hard time walking out there. What was his plan exactly with that move out? He got punished so hard.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I thought, like, I think he thought it was like a charge slot play because he kept making mines, which is, I don't think you want to make mines against Colossus really. So from there, like, suddenly as you Colossus, he threw down a second starport, makes like reacted Vikings, but it was just too late and also losing all the units in the middle.
Yeah.
I feel like he
Yeah.
could have just walked away, like steam and run away. Instead of loading up against Phoenix when you have 3 low medevacs, it seems.
Yeah. With the Phoenixes chasing you, they're
Yeah.
like right on your heels.
I guess he panicked.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, he was doing that thing where he's like, oh, Phoenix Colossus. I mean, this is a sit in your corner of the map composition, right? I can threaten, maybe, you know, I can make him forget an upgrade, make him cut some probes. And then you're like, oh, no, like, you lost the Widow Mine drop at the start, like you were saying. You're already behind. You're building more mines, which we saw achieve a whole lot of nothing. And Mana just jumped on top of it, so good game there. And now he's actually really, really close to finishing it out. Just one more game to win it in this best of 5 up here in the top right. In the blue, let's make some noise for Liquid Mana.
And in the bottom left, 1 game from elimination, it's Liquid TaKeTV.
Nah, man. All right, World of Sleep is here. It's a big one. What are the main things you're looking out for in PvT in the openings here on World of Sleepers?
Nothing too special. It's just the middle base. Protoss can take it pretty quickly, and it's similar to PvC, you know, where Zerg gets a big advantage because of the gas. I think Protoss gets a big advantage here. So most of the time, if you take it, the Terran will just push like with an SCV pull through the middle and try to kill you. But in the middle, you can do like 2 force fields to block it off and buy a lot of time. So
Yeah, right there, yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah. Am I recalling this correctly? Like the pre-week, didn't you go for like a heavy charge build here and held like
Yep.
specials SCV pull?
Yep.
Yeah. Do you like builds like that specifically for this map?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Because like almost every time I take this base and Terran sees it, they get triggered right away.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill you.
Totally.
Like, dude, why don't you just take the base as well, Terran? Just go Mass
Yeah.
Raven, man. That's
Yeah.
like the one unit that takes more gas than minerals, right?
You know, that is one of the really funny things about StarCraft 2. There's just no gas-heavy units for Terran. It's like, how many games you see where Terran's sitting there on 2k gas and 50 minerals?
Ooh. What's the probe doing? Just hiding, maybe? Or is it going to be a proxy Stargate?
Oh.
You can always tell when a probe's just sitting in that super random spot of the map. Then something weird's going to happen.
Yeah, I would say it's probably going to be the Stargate coming up.
It's also good that he faked the second pilot in the main base because of the SCV scout. Otherwise, it would have been really obvious.
Cancels that warp gate, throws down the Stargate. Really trying to sell it there. TeaJa not even noticing, though.
Ooh, but the Reaper's gonna confirm a lack of tech, so he might suspect a proxy.
Oh, wow. He's actually going to catch it. Doesn't get to see the other pylon, so he can't really... It's a lot harder to read that, I think.
Yeah, you can't be sure.
Yeah.
Oh, quick second barracks. Very quick second barracks going down there. So definitely does prepare the Terran, lets them get set up for a much faster potential bio push. But it doesn't really add any anti-air just yet. And the Adepts, of course, going to try and distract the natural, pick off Marines. The bunker should be up before those Adepts get... Yeah, okay. So the bunker's well-timed.
And he is going Cyclone, actually, so...
Okay, yeah.
Looks like that is going to help out quite a bit.
Yeah, it should be almost in time for the Oracle.
We'll shade in, checking what's what.
And super quick third barracks, I think, is what we just saw there. Or was he just moving one of his barracks? Oh, he's just moving it. Ah, right. Okay. Yeah. Wants to, of course, put that on the tech lab, start making stim. The Oracle actually looking to hit the natural here.
Well, it is a little bit naked right now. The 3 Adepts coming in as well.
Oh, I like it.
Definitely a lot of potential for damage here.
Yep.
Oh my god. He doesn't even need the Oracle. Look at this.
Oh, goodbye, Marines. Get back in your house, mates. They've got to get back in that bunker. The Cyclone does come down, but of course locks onto an Adept. The Oracle going to be able to work out of there. All 3 Adepts do go down at the end of that. 4 SCVs. I think 2 or 3 Marines went down and a Mule.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit surprised he pulled back so quickly with that Oracle. The lock-on was used on the last Adept, so I feel like he could have killed another 3 SCVs or so.
Yeah, I agree. 2 more gases in Twilight Council, so no quick third base for now. I'm not sure. It's gonna be... It's gonna go Blink, maybe?
Huh.
Oh, right. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense with the gas here, I guess, because there's no Robo down just yet.
Yeah, like, if you play like Phoenix into charge, you go 4 guys as well, but since you have a proxy target, I don't know how long you can really make stuff out of it.
Yeah.
Well, he's building Phoenix, so who knows? Maybe just going to say, hey, let's hope we keep this up long enough to get out at least 4 or 5 Phoenix.
Yeah, I guess it's going to be charge if he makes Phoenix, right? Blink in Phoenix makes most sense, really.
Why would he be taking that 3rd then?
Yeah, I don't know. I've noticed a lot of Korean Zergs as well. They just take the linear bases on this map. For some reason, I don't know. I think it's just bad.
Zerg's
like
taking the linear bases? Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm not sure.
Maybe Lambo's right.
I think the linear bases are a bit easier to defend.
Yeah.
So if you're not confident in, I don't know, just having a different layout of bases, maybe that's just a better choice. Ooh.
Ooh, nice. Disables that.
Man.
That's a lot of lasers.
Yeah, it certainly is. Going to take out that Cyclone in a matter of seconds. The SCV's trying to get out of here, but so much damage coming out. He's actually reducing the Marauders as well.
Yeah, just picking off everything he can. Of course, a lot of units on this side of the map, which means there's not a lot at home. You see only a Cyclone there, and you know that there is a big push coming your way. Stim Bio, oh my gosh, a few slow Zealots and a Sentry. Oh, this is awkward.
Well, actually doing pretty good with this counterpunch.
Did he just win? There's nothing, right? 3 gates as well only?
Yeah, he's got 3 gates. My God, that's actually impressive. All right.
Well, I mean, we always talk about Oracles, Phoenix being these cool mobile harassment units that aren't really the best front-on engagement units, right? And it's this funny thing, you dive in, you do a lot of damage to their economy, but he just did not have extra gateways on time, did not have any gateway units coming up, and yeah, that stands strong. Those medevacs are finally out of energy, but it's after almost everything of Mana's has gone down, and TeaJa here just fighting back in a big way.
Just absolutely no way for Mana to take this at this point. Even if he were to clear this army, I mean, TeaJa has stim. He can just make some more units and send them over. And with this low probe count, you are never getting anything up here that's going to get you back into this game, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like the whole series, Mana is really not scouting a whole lot. I don't think he knew like there's going to be like a quick stim push at all.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't make Phoenix against it, probably. Because you have so little units then. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Like, yeah, I guess he went for the natural, so he didn't see the second barracks. Is that how this went?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
he never went into the main with the Oracle.
Yeah,
He just
yeah.
had no idea.
Which, I mean, it got him a lot of damage at the end of the day, but...
Isn't it normally these builds that have a Cyclone, though, that it is a second barracks?
Not necessarily. It can be like a 1-1-1 as well.
Can?
Yeah,
I
maybe
feel like
I
it's
thought
been a long
that's-
time since I've seen